As a local, born and raised here in Eindhoven, I thought it would be a nice idea to start by welcoming you to Eindhoven, this great TED region, as I like to call it, because we have a lot to do with technology and we have a lot to do with design. Take, for instance, these very promising machines ASML is building, and an example like the Dutch Design Week, where last year alone 275 people were coming. So Eindhoven and the Eindhoven Brainport region has a lot to do with technology and a lot to do with design. But as you know, TED stands for Technology, Entertainment and Design. So just the technology and design is not enough. So we added the carnival to it. That's pretty entertaining for us. And even if you didn't join in the Polonaise yourself, you probably had a good time while doing it. So this area has a lot of innovation. There's a lot of innovation going on, and we need a lot of talent for that innovation to continue. So where do we get this talent from? Well, Eindhoven is a city of about 220,000 people, and actually almost 1/3 of that population is called immigrants here in Eindhoven. Actually, almost 71,000 people here in Eindhoven are immigrants. Has a little thing to do with what you call an immigrant, because according to the Dutch system, an immigrant is somebody who has one or more parents born outside of the Netherlands. That actually means that you can be an immigrant and be born in the Netherlands. Leaving that aside, we still have 166 nationalities in Eindhoven in this date. So a very international community. And it has to do with that we can't find the talent locally. We are looking all over the world for this talent. And with we, I mean the recruiters. That's where I come into play. My day-to-day role, I'm a recruiter, and I look for talent for these high-tech or design industries. And I'm not the only one, because actually I did a LinkedIn search on it, and in a 15-kilometer area around Eindhoven, you have 264 recruiters. So chances are, if you are international talent, one day you'll get a phone call from me or either one of my colleagues, and we say, hey, we might have something interesting for you in the Netherlands, in this region called Eindhoven. And at that moment, you get to make a choice. Do I want to live in another country and start working there, furthering my career in my area? Chances are you say yes, and in the end, we hope that you will make your mark on this piece of paper, and then we say, welcome to your new work life. Welcome to this Brainport region. At first, everything is still arranged for you. You come over, and probably the HR department will have set up some apartment where you can live. You'll be introduced into all kind of paperwork, set up a bank account, and it's pretty much arranged. But afterwards, you're still on your own. And then what happens? Well, at first, everything is fine. You have what you call the honeymoon phase. Everything is new. You get to travel to Amsterdam, to Maastricht, and you can go to IKEA, even though they have it everywhere, but you still go to IKEA because you need furniture, of course. But everything is new, and that's really something nice to explore. But after a while, you'll start going into this dip where you say, okay, this is my life, and I have to find a living here, or at least a social life here. And you'll start joining these communities, and it goes better for a while. But after a couple of weeks or months, you'll start sinking in that, hey, I need to connect to this local environment as well. I need to connect to the Dutch people. I want to become one of the Dutch community. And this is where the hard part begins, and that's when you actually have the true culture shock. And this is actually also where we Dutch can help these internationals a lot. And we can, but the problem is that we don't do that enough, at least that's my opinion. Why? We Dutch have a very strict separation between the work and the private life. It's very common for us to go back home after 5 o'clock and don't think about work anymore. And even if a colleague calls you at night, it's probably about work, not to ask you out to go to a play or to a bar or to do something social. We don't do that. Add to that fact that we Dutch actually work the least amount of hours in the world, then there's not a lot of time in interaction in workplace at all. Here you see a graph, and on that side you will see the bottom one. That's actually the Netherlands, and that's the annual hours per year that we spend working. So there is not a lot of interaction on the workplace going on, and even and outside of the workplace we are not that much open to interaction with the workplace. So that's a problem. And that gets me to why I'm talking to you here today. Some time ago, there was this study over those that studied here internationally and started their work life here in the Netherlands. After 5 years, only 38% of those international people that studied here remained. So where are all these people going? Why am I doing all this in recruitment? What's happening? And to me, the thought that came to my mind, it's a Dutch saying, it says, dweilen met de kraan open. And because there are a lot of international people here, let me give you an example of what I mean. I'll walk over here a bit. So this is the Eindhoven region, and this is the talent that I'm recruiting. Doesn't seem to work that well. This is what you call a talent drain. And that's something that we can remedy, because we Dutch are actually quite good at fixing leaky dikes. Actually, we have a very renowned person from it, it's called Hansje Brinker. So we have the solution, we just have to get to work. Okay, so let's get to work. And actually Eindhoven is already doing quite well in comparison to other international cities. We have the hub for expats, as you can see here. This is the location where the internationals can meet each other and do nice things together. Next to that you actually have the Holland Expat Center South, a government facility that can help you with all kinds of questions regarding of your visa and all kinds of questions regarding paperwork. And we even have international healthcare set up. For the Dutch it's really common that you go to the huisarts first, but actually for international people, a general practitioner usually is within a hospital, and you don't visit the general practitioner first and then go to the hospital. So we have this English-speaking general practitioner set up in Eindhoven as well. But these are all systems, and these are all things that we Dutch organize so that we don't have to interact with these internationals. That's what we're very good at. We are setting up systems so we say, okay, it's now their problem, they are the expert in it. But you can do a lot yourself as well. So what can you do? Basically, the thing that I want my Dutch colleagues to do to their international colleagues is reach out and kiss. Yeah, thank you. Before it gets really weird on Monday morning at the office, let me explain what I mean with this. With kiss, I mean keep it socially simple. You can reach out and just do some simple things together. It doesn't have to be a cultural event, where you combine all the cultures into one cook-off or something. It can be very simple. Let me give you an example of what I do during my work. I've set up this program, and I call it the 5 Senses program, where I basically invite people to join in very simple things based on the senses. For instance, we go out to dinner and we taste and smell this food. We go out and taste wines, and we go out and taste beers together. We can see movies together, or we can see musea together. We can listen to music together, share concerts, share whatever you have in your playlist. And you can even feel together, playing a racquetball game together. Afterwards you're both exhausted, but you feel that connection to each other, that you both gave it your all, trying to beat each other, but it gives you this brotherly bond, and it makes you connect to people. It's really that easy. And connecting is very much fun. This is a picture of an Indian wedding, actually a ritual before an Indian wedding. It's called the cleansing ritual. And I was actually a part of this because my colleague, Alok, that's the guy in the middle in white, he was sitting there, and this is he is the groom of his wedding, and he invited me to the wedding, me and some other colleagues. And we were also there for a part of rituals before that, and I got into this really nice cultural environment where I learned a lot about how they interact with each other. This ritual is cleansing, and basically what they do is they have this yellow paste made of kurkuma, and they cleanse, everybody cleanses the groom and basically gives their blessing for the wedding the next day. And as you know, when you start playing with paint, it quickly gets out of hand, and everybody starts joining in, and in the end, me and my colleagues look like this. And I felt so welcome there. I felt so one of the members of that community. That's how I felt when they did this to me. So we all had this big grin on our faces, and it was really beautiful to experience this. And of course, the next day we went to this wedding, and we had this great time, basically also dressing up, because that's part of a wedding, but also getting to meet a lot of new different people. And this would have never happened if I not have reached out to this colleague of mine, Alok, and he would never have invited me otherwise. So what I want to leave you here with today is that, one, we need to make sure that this talent we spend so much time and effort in getting here to the Netherlands, that they are also welcomed socially. We as Dutch people owe that to the people we invite, and we need this talent for the next generations. Next to that, connecting is fun. It brings you new insights, it gives you new friends, and you don't have to become best friends or something, or even friends at all, but it will give you that new spark and the new ways of learning. And most of all, I want to say, keep it socially simple. It doesn't have to take that much time, and you can do it really easily. So next Monday morning, when you walk into the office environment, and you as Dutch guys see somebody saying, hey, I don't know that person, why not reach out and kiss? Thank you.